What if I told you that the most powerful medicine in your home isn't in your bathroom cabinet, but in your kitchen cupboard right next to the salt? As a doctor who spent decades treating seniors, I've learned something surprising. Sometimes the most overlooked remedies are the most powerful. Baking soda, yes, the same powder you use to freshen your fridge or bake cookies, may quietly hold the key to easing arthritis pain, soothing heartburn, even boosting your kidneys or helping you breathe easier during cold season. You see, science is finally catching up to what many have long suspected. Research from the Journal of Immunology shows that a daily baking soda solution can help calm inflammation. Other studies reveal its role in improving kidney function and fighting harmful bacteria in the mouth. But here's the catch: very few people know how to use it correctly, and even fewer know when not to use it. Today, I'm going to walk you through the real science-backed benefits of baking soda. We'll explore which symptoms it can relieve, how it works in your body, and why it's not always safe for everyone. So if you're over 50 and looking for simple, affordable ways to feel better naturally, this video is your guide. If you find this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to Live Healthy After 50, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear if you've ever tried baking soda for your health. Let's explore this together. Your health is your greatest wealth. Number 1. Relieving arthritis and gout. The immune reset hidden in your pantry. Let's talk about two conditions that steal comfort, movement, and independence from millions of older adults: arthritis and gout. If you've ever woken up with swollen joints, struggled to open a jar, or felt that burning throb in your big toe, you know just how deeply these diseases can affect your everyday life. The pain is not just physical, it chips away at your freedom. Now, here's what most people don't know. Chronic inflammation is often the root of both arthritis and gout. And while medications can help, they often come with side effects that are hard on the stomach, kidneys, or heart. That's why many seniors are looking for safer, gentler alternatives. And here's where something extraordinary comes in baking soda. Yes, that same kitchen staple we use for cookies and cleaning has been found to do something remarkable inside the human body. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Immunology discovered that a small daily dose of baking soda mixed with water can help retrain the immune system. Researchers found that sodium bicarbonate gently nudges the immune response away from inflammation. It doesn't suppress it like harsh drugs do. Instead, it calms it. It restores balance. The study followed both rats and human volunteers, and in both groups, baking soda reduced the activity of inflammatory cells while increasing anti-inflammatory markers. In simpler terms, it helped the body stop attacking itself. For people with rheumatoid arthritis or other autoimmune joint conditions, this is potentially life-changing. Now let's take that a step further into the world of gout. Gout is a particularly brutal form of arthritis caused by uric acid crystals building up in the joints. One moment you're fine, the next a toe or ankle is red, swollen, and throbbing with pain so sharp it feels like broken glass. Many people don't realize just how disabling this can be until they're limping through it themselves. But here's the interesting part: baking soda is alkaline, which means it helps neutralize excess uric acid in the blood. That makes it harder for those sharp crystals to form. In fact, studies have shown that alkalizing agents like sodium bicarbonate can help dissolve existing uric acid crystals and promote their removal through urine. Let me share a real-life example. Bill, a 68-year-old retired truck driver from Ohio, had battled gout for over a decade. He had the usual pills, colchicine, NAS seeds, steroids, but the flare-ups kept coming, especially after red meat or wine. After doing some reading, he cautiously began drinking half a teaspoon of baking soda mixed in water once a day. Within weeks, the severity of his flares began to drop. 3 months later, he hadn't had a full-blown attack in 6 weeks. Was it magic? No. But it was chemistry, and it worked. Of course, this isn't a cure, and it's not for everyone. But when used correctly and under medical supervision, baking soda may offer real relief for those suffering from inflammatory joint pain. So if you're someone who wakes up with stiff hands, if you've tiptoed through the agony of gout, maybe it's time to take a closer look at what's sitting quietly in your kitchen. It might not just be baking powder. It could be the reset button your immune system's been waiting for. Number 2, fast relief from colds, cough and sore throat. The simple solution that starts with a gargle. Cold and flu season doesn't wait for an invitation. One moment you feel a tickle in your throat, and the next you're coughing, congested, and reaching for tissues every 5 minutes. For older adults, even a mild cold can spiral into days or weeks of fatigue, chest tightness, and sleepless nights. But what if the first line of defense was already sitting on your kitchen shelf? Baking soda, that humble white powder in the back of your pantry, can do more than deodorize your fridge. When used the right way, it becomes a powerful ally in soothing sore throats, clearing mucus and cutting down bacterial load in your upper airways fast. Let's break it down. Baking soda is naturally alkaline. That means when you mix it with warm water and gargle, it helps create an environment where viruses and bacteria don't thrive. It can loosen thick mucus, soothe irritated tissue, and reduce that raw, scratchy feeling that makes swallowing a nightmare. A half teaspoon in a glass of warm water, nothing fancy, is often enough to feel some relief. And it's not just a home remedy passed down from grandma. A study published in the Journal of the American Dental Association found that baking soda rinses significantly reduced microbial load in the mouth and throat. That means fewer germs, less inflammation, and possibly a faster recovery. It's a simple action with real science behind it. Now let me tell you about Rosa. Rosa is a 72-year-old retired teacher from New Mexico. Every fall, like clockwork, she would come down with a nasty sore throat, usually followed by a lingering cough that would drag on for weeks. She dreaded it. One year, fed up with over-the-counter syrups that left her drowsy and dry-mouthed, she tried something different. Her daughter suggested a baking soda gargle. Skeptical but willing, Rosa started gargling with baking soda and warm water 3 times a day. To her surprise, the scratchy throat eased within a day. The mucus that usually settled deep in her chest never built up the same way. Her cough was lighter and gone within a few days. That fall, for the first time in years, Rosa didn't have to miss Thanksgiving dinner. It's a small shift, but a powerful one. And here's a bonus: baking soda isn't just for gargling. When added to a saline nasal rinse, it can help break down congestion and soothe inflamed sinus passages. For people who struggle with post-nasal drip or that stuffy, heavy head feeling, this little trick can make a big difference. Just remember, this isn't a cure for serious infections. But for early symptoms or as a supportive remedy, it's gentle, effective, and safe for most people. So next time your throat starts to tingle or that first sniffle sneaks up on you, don't wait. Reach for the baking soda. You might just stop a cold in its tracks without ever needing a trip to the pharmacy. Number 3, whiten teeth, cut plaque, and freshen breath. The gentle way that actually works. Let's be honest, after 50, our teeth start to show their age just like the rest of us. Years of coffee, tea, red wine, and even healthy habits like blueberries can leave stains that dull our smile. Commercial whitening strips and gels promise a bright Hollywood grin, but they often come with a cost-sensitive teeth, damaged enamel, and sky-high prices. But what if the solution was sitting in your pantry the whole time? Baking soda, yes, the very same powder you use for baking cookies, might be one of the gentlest and most effective ways to naturally brighten your teeth, reduce plaque, and keep your breath fresh. And no, this isn't just a folk remedy. There's real science behind it. Let's start with the basics. Baking soda is a mild abrasive, which means it gently scrubs away surface stains without stripping your enamel like many chemical whiteners do. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Clinical Dentistry found that toothpaste containing baking soda was more effective at removing plaque and stains than toothpaste without it. Not just a little more, but significantly more. But the benefits don't stop with a brighter smile. Baking soda also helps balance the pH level in your mouth, making it less acidic. That's important because acid-loving bacteria are what lead to cavities, gum inflammation, and even bad breath. By creating a more neutral environment, baking soda helps those harmful bacteria struggle to survive, while your gums stay healthier and your breath smells fresher. Now let me share a story that brings this all to life. Howard, a 74-year-old retired engineer from Oregon, had always prided himself on keeping his teeth in good shape. But over the years, despite brushing twice a day, he noticed his teeth were turning a dull yellow. His dentist offered a whitening package, but Howard worried about sensitivity. He'd had issues before with over-the-counter gels that left him wincing whenever he sipped cold water. Instead, he tried something simple. He dipped his damp toothbrush in baking soda twice a week, nothing fancy, and brushed gently for 2 minutes. After the first week, he noticed his teeth felt smoother. By week 4, his smile looked noticeably brighter. Even his hygienist during a routine cleaning asked what he'd been doing differently. But the best part, his breath, which had been subtly stale in the mornings, started to feel noticeably fresher, and with fewer bacteria irritating his gums, his dentist told him his oral health had improved. Of course, moderation is key. Baking soda should never replace your regular toothpaste, and if used too often or too aggressively, it can wear enamel over time. That's why dentists recommend using it no more than 2 to 3 times per week with a soft bristled brush and gentle strokes. So if you're tired of expensive whitening products that hurt more than they help, or if you're just looking for a safer natural boost, this little white powder might be your new secret weapon. Number 4, easing heartburn and acid reflux. Fast relief in a teaspoon. It often starts as a little burn behind the chest bone. Then it creeps up your throat, leaving behind that sour, uncomfortable taste heartburn. If you're over 50, chances are you've felt it after a big dinner, a late night snack, or even just bending down too fast. And for many, this isn't just an occasional nuisance. It's a daily battle with acid reflux. But what if the answer isn't found in another chalky chewable or prescription pill? What if one of the fastest, most effective ways to calm that burning sensation was already sitting quietly in your kitchen? Baking soda, yes, plain old sodium bicarbonate, has a unique ability to neutralize stomach acid almost instantly. When mixed with water, just half to 1 teaspoon can balance the pH in your stomach, offering quick relief within minutes. It's not magic, it's basic chemistry. Acid meets alkaline, and the result is balance. In fact, sodium bicarbonate is the very ingredient used in many over-the-counter antacids. But when you use it directly, you control the dose, avoid added fillers, and save money at the same time. Let me introduce you to Ray. Ray is a 66-year-old Navy veteran from Florida. For years, he battled acid reflux that left him sleeping upright and popping antacids like candy. He tried switching diets, skipping spicy food, and avoiding late meals, but the burning always came back. One night after another sleepless stretch, his wife handed him a glass of warm water mixed with a teaspoon of baking soda. Skeptical, he drank it slowly. Within 10 minutes, the burn was gone. That night, he slept lying down for the first time in weeks. Now, Ray didn't toss out his medications, but he did begin using the baking soda remedy when symptoms flared up, especially after meals that didn't sit well. It became a trusted backup, something gentle and effective that worked quickly without drying out his mouth or upsetting his stomach. And he's not alone. A review published in Gastroenterology and Hepatology recognized baking soda's effectiveness as a short-term solution for acid reflux. It works, it's safe for most people when used correctly, and it's cheap. But, and this is important, it must be used with care. Too much baking soda can lead to bloating, gas, or even increased sodium levels in people with heart or kidney conditions. That's why the golden rule is small dose limited use. No more than half to 1 teaspoon dissolved in a full glass of water, and not more than once every few hours. And never take it on a full stomach weight, at least an hour after eating. So if you're tired of the burn and tired of reaching for another pill, maybe it's time to try something simple, something smart. A teaspoon of baking soda and a glass of water might be all it takes to feel like yourself again. Number 5, boosting endurance. The secret athletes know that seniors can use too. You don't have to run marathons to feel your energy drain. For many people over 50, even a brisk walk around the neighborhood or a short bike ride can leave their legs burning, their chest heaving, and their motivation sinking fast. It's frustrating, especially when your mind feels strong, but your body tells you to stop. What if there were a simple way to keep going longer with less muscle fatigue? And what if that secret was already in your kitchen? Let's talk about baking soda and why athletes have quietly used it for decades to push through limits, and why it might just be the performance boost seniors need to enjoy more active, independent lives. Here's the science. When you exercise, especially at a moderate or high pace, your muscles produce lactic acid. That's the stuff that makes your legs feel like they're on fire and your muscles weak and rubbery. The more acid that builds up, the more quickly you get tired. That's where baking soda comes in. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is alkaline. When you take it before activity, it acts like a natural buffer, helping your body neutralize the excess acid. The result? Less burn, less fatigue, more endurance. And this isn't just a gym rumor. A meta-analysis in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research reviewed dozens of studies and found that baking soda significantly improved performance in high-intensity, short-duration exercise, especially in activities like swimming, cycling, and running. But even for casual movement like walking or gardening, that buffering effect can make a real difference. Now meet Diane. Diane is 70, a retired school counselor who picked up biking again during the pandemic. She loved the freedom it gave her, but hated that her legs would feel sore and shaky after just 15 minutes. Her grandson, a college track athlete, told her about the baking soda trick. So Diane tried it half a teaspoon dissolved in water 60 minutes before a ride. The change noticeable. Her legs still worked, but the ache wasn't nearly as sharp. She could ride longer and recover faster. After a few weeks, she was biking double the distance she used to without needing a nap afterward. For her, it wasn't about speed, it was about confidence, independence, feeling strong again. Of course, baking soda isn't for everyone. Too much can cause bloating or upset your stomach. That's why starting with small doses is key, usually about 1/12 to 1 teaspoon in water taken an hour before activity. And if you have high blood pressure or kidney issues, always talk to your doctor first. But when used properly, baking soda might just be the extra push your muscles need. Whether you're chasing after grandkids, walking your favorite trail, or simply hoping to stay active without tiring out too soon, this simple household powder could be your secret weapon. Number 6, fighting fungus foot odor and irritated skin. A soothing soak that works. There's nothing glamorous about it, but foot problems are more common than most of us admit, especially after 50. It starts subtly, a little itching between the toes, maybe a patch of dry flaky skin. Then the odor creeps in, and before long, you're avoiding sandals and tiptoeing around the discomfort. For many, it's athlete's foot. For others, it's plain irritation or just years of wearing the wrong shoes. Whatever the cause, the result is the same embarrassment, itching, and frustration. But what if the solution wasn't a trip to the pharmacy? What if you could calm your skin, eliminate odor, and fight fungus with something already sitting in your kitchen? Baking soda once again shows up as a quiet hero. This isn't a gimmick. Baking soda has natural antifungal properties. According to a study published in the journal Mycopathologia, a simple baking soda solution was able to inhibit the growth of 80% of tested fungal strains. That's powerful stuff, and even better, it's gentle enough for regular use. So how does it work? Baking soda helps change the pH of the skin surface, making it harder for fungus to grow. At the same time, it absorbs moisture and neutralizes odor, which is key. Fungus thrives in warm, damp environments. And let's not forget how it softens rough skin, leaving your feet feeling smooth and refreshed. Now let me introduce you to Edna. Edna is 73 and lives in Arizona. She's always been active, walking daily and gardening in her backyard. But over time, she developed persistent itching and peeling skin between her toes. It embarrassed her so much that she started skipping her walks and wore socks even in sandals. She tried a few creams, but nothing worked for long. Then during a routine visit, her podiatrist suggested something surprisingly simple, a baking soda foot soak. So Edna gave it a try. She mixed 3 tablespoons of baking soda into a basin of warm water and soaked her feet for 20 minutes every evening. After the soak, she patted them dry and sprinkled a bit of dry baking soda between her toes. Within a week, the itching eased. 2 weeks and the redness had faded. And by the end of the month, she was back to walking daily, this time in sandals, proud and pain-free. This kind of result isn't rare. Many people find that baking soda soaks are a gentle, effective way to handle foot odor, fungal infections, and dry, irritated skin without relying on harsh chemicals. Here's how you can try it at home. Fill a basin with warm water, add 2 to 4 tablespoons of baking soda, soak your feet for 15 to 20 minutes. Dry thoroughly, especially between toes. Optionally, dust with a small amount of dry baking soda afterward. It's safe, easy, and affordable, especially for older adults with sensitive skin. Number 7, supporting cancer treatment. A surprising scientific discovery. Cancer, it's a word that changes everything the moment you hear it. For patients and their families, every option, every tool, every ounce of hope matters. And while we continue to lean on the incredible advancements of modern medicine, chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, researchers are still exploring how to make those treatments work better. One surprising candidate that's drawn scientific attention: baking soda. This may sound strange at first. How could a powder used to bake cookies or clean countertops have anything to do with cancer? But a groundbreaking study published in the journal Cancer Research revealed something fascinating. When baking soda was used to reduce acidity in the area around cancer cells, specifically in mice with breast cancer, The tumors became less aggressive and more vulnerable to chemotherapy. Why does this matter? Many types of cancer create an acidic environment around them. This low pH helps tumors grow, spread, and resist treatment. Baking soda, being alkaline, may help raise the pH level around the tumor, weakening its defenses and making chemotherapy more effective. Now, to be clear, this is not a cure, and it's not a replacement for any cancer therapy, but it's a potential supportive tool, one that could complement traditional treatment under close medical supervision. Let me tell you about Helen. Helen is 67, a retired florist from North Carolina. 3 years ago, she was diagnosed with stage 2 ovarian cancer. After undergoing surgery and starting chemotherapy, she read an article about the baking soda research and brought it up at her next appointment. Her oncologist was open-minded but cautious. Together, they discussed a carefully monitored regimen, tracking her pH levels and adjusting dosages to avoid any complications. Helen wasn't looking for a miracle, she just wanted to give her body the best chance to fight. Months later, she completed her treatment with strong results. While there's no way to prove how much baking soda helped, her doctors noted that she tolerated chemo better than most and showed excellent response. Most importantly, Helen felt empowered, like she was part of the process, not just a passenger. So what's the takeaway? Yes, baking soda shows promise in early studies. And yes, it may help certain therapies work more effectively by changing the chemical environment of tumors. But this is not something to try on your own. High doses can disrupt your body's natural balance, especially if you're undergoing intensive treatment. Always consult your oncologist before introducing anything new, especially something that alters your body's internal chemistry. And keep in mind that the research, while exciting, is still in the early stages. Human trials are limited, and scientists are still learning how best to apply this knowledge safely. But one thing is clear, even the simplest compounds can surprise us. Before we dive into this next part, let me be clear. Baking soda can be incredibly helpful when used properly. But like any remedy, natural or not, it's not for everyone. And if you fall into certain groups, using it without caution can actually do more harm than good. So who should be careful and why? Let's start with the kidneys. For people with kidney disease, especially chronic kidney disease, baking soda might sound like a natural solution. In fact, under medical supervision, it's sometimes used to help reduce acid in the blood. And this is a big, but when taken without guidance, it can backfire. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, and that sodium part matters. The kidneys are responsible for managing sodium levels. If your kidneys aren't working properly, even a little extra sodium can cause fluid retention, high blood pressure, or dangerous electrolyte imbalances. Now imagine adding that burden to kidneys already struggling. It's a recipe for trouble. Next, we have people with high blood pressure. You might not think of baking soda as salty, but chemically it is. 1 teaspoon contains about 1,259 milligrams of sodium, over half the recommended daily limit for sodium. For someone already managing hypertension, that can raise blood pressure, worsen swelling, or even lead to heart complications if used regularly. Then there's the group dealing with chronic digestive issues. People who suffer from gastritis, ulcers, or reflux disease often turn to baking soda for fast relief. And yes, it works by neutralizing stomach acid. But used too often or in high amounts, it can swing your stomach from acidic to overly alkaline. That shift can mess with digestion, cause rebound acidity, and in some cases actually worsen the very symptoms you were trying to treat. What about pregnant women? During pregnancy, the body's already navigating a complex balance of fluids, hormones, and digestion. Taking baking soda may seem like a harmless way to ease indigestion, but it can throw off electrolyte levels, which in turn can affect blood pressure and hydration, 2 things that are critical to both mother and baby. It's also not recommended during nursing unless cleared by a doctor. Even people with breathing problems should be cautious. Inhaling baking soda powder, either by accident or during mixing, can irritate the airways and trigger symptoms in people with asthma or chronic bronchitis. It's rare, but it happens, especially when using baking soda for cleaning or making large bath soaks. And then there's the simple fact that everyone's body is different. Some people have mild sodium sensitivity and don't even know it. Others may experience nausea, bloating, or cramps when using baking soda internally. And if you're combining it with certain medications like diuretics or heart drugs, it can change how those medications work. Now let me tell you about George. George is 69, a retired factory supervisor from Michigan. He'd read online about baking soda for heartburn and decided to try it half a teaspoon in water twice a day. At first, it worked like a charm. The burning stopped almost immediately. But a few weeks later, he started feeling strange. His ankles were swelling, his blood pressure, normally under control, started creeping up. Eventually, during a checkup, his doctor noticed signs of sodium overload. They traced it back to the daily baking soda. George was shocked. He thought, how could something so common be dangerous? The answer is dose frequency and health status. Used occasionally in small doses and with a healthy body, baking soda can be a safe and powerful tool. But used daily or by someone with underlying conditions, it can tip the balance in the wrong direction quietly and quickly. So here's the bottom line. If you have kidney issues, high blood pressure, chronic stomach problems, or are pregnant or breastfeeding, don't use baking soda for health purposes without talking to a doctor. Always use measured doses, no more than 1 or 2 to 1 teaspoon at a time, and never more than 2 to 3 times a day. And if you feel bloated, dizzy, swollen, or your blood pressure rises, stop immediately. And never inhale the powder or apply large amounts to open skin. Baking soda is a gift, but like any gift, it needs to be used wisely. Up next, let's revisit why baking soda earned the title of the most overlooked medicine in your home and how you can make it part of your wellness routine safely and smartly. Stay with me. Sometimes the simplest things hold the greatest power. Baking soda, a humble, inexpensive powder most of us overlook, has shown itself to be more than just a kitchen staple. From soothing sore throats to easing arthritis, pain from brightening your smile to supporting your immune system, it has quietly offered benefits for the body, mind, and spirit. This isn't about replacing medicine or chasing miracles. It's about opening our eyes to what nature has already given us. With the right knowledge, even the most ordinary things can transform our lives. You don't have to search far and wide for better health. Sometimes the answer's already in your hands, you just need to understand it and use it wisely. If this video helped you or sparked a new perspective, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your health is your greatest wealth, and we're here to help you protect it one small step at a time.